Okay. Hello and welcome to the GH Mini Spotlight. I am James Loud Jr. I'm sure the other two will come in, but I'm on a strict schedule, so I'm starting it now, the stream now, because I have to go at a certain time. So I want to get the show started, and you guys can be here with us. Thank you for joining us. I'll do all the church announcements before they come in. Hello, happy Sunday. We had a full soap block this week, so thank God. Earlier today, we interviewed Courtney Hope, and Courtney Hope was good. Okay, so on Wide Army Spotlight, we interviewed her. And so for you guys out there, you're thinking, who's that? She actually is the girlfriend of Chad Duell, who plays Michael on General Hospital. So that's what she talks about her boyfriend, which is Chad Duell. Lacretia's here.
Hey.
So and so she talked to us about Chad. They've been together almost 5 years. She's playing Sally Spectra on Y&R. She was Sally Spectra on Bold and Beautiful. She shares two very interesting things that she's never shared anywhere else with us. So that's out now. Wide Army Spotlight, Courtney Hope, out there now. Be a Me Spotlight. Me, Amanda Russ, and Tammy Govea talked about the craziness of Bold and Beautiful. It's happening. It's been crazy for the whole year and last year. And we talk about that. That's out right now too. Bold and Beautiful Spotlight out now. And Daytime Today now is right now. It's little snippets. There's an episode out right now. I just posted it like 5 minutes ago. You can check that out on all social media platforms. And now we're here on GH right now. Lacretia Lyon is here. There's only one. Frank might come in at some point. But I have to start. I got Lacretia this time, so I'm happy to have her back. Hello, everybody in the chat room. Lacretia, so overall, how have you been liking GH? Because we haven't had you in a few weeks. We're glad. Welcome back. How have you been liking GH?
Yeah, like for the most part, I'm really enjoying a lot of it. I mean, so ever since they came back, they've really corrected course on a lot of stuff. And this week we kind of saw the culmination of the Nina's daughter thing, which, I mean, it's been years for some of us. So yeah, I mean, it was a little clunky, I will say, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that probably went into that. Like, I think Kim Delaney's availability. I mean, I kind of saw like why it had to be, and I'm glad that we're just fine there.
Yeah, finally. I mean, there's some good drama in there. There's some good stuff in there. So the performances were good. It just said,
yeah,
we got a bunch to dissect from there. Oh, and here comes Frank Moran. Here he is. You're already on the air. You're already on the air.
Love it.
Hi, Frank.
Hey guys, Lacretia, welcome back.
Yeah, how you doing, Frank?
That's what I said. Welcome back.
Thank you. Just enduring a terrible week of GH.
Oh, this is why I love Frank. Is he always has something to say. That's the opposite of often what I say.
They go, yay, Frank. They go, yay, Frank. Welcome back, Lacretia. Yes. The gang is all together. So, and I was just mentioning that I talked to Courtney Hope this morning, Frank, on Y&R, whose real life boyfriend is Chad Duell on General Hospital with Michael. So I've been there 5 years. So, and she's not dead; she's still alive. So,
nice.
That'll be good. You know, I guess his real life girlfriend survived compared to his on screen. No joke there, folks. No joke there, of course. Yes. So, well, then, what do you think overall this week, Frank? Frank?
Those first 3 days were so rough. Like it's like they decided, like, hey, let's put every storyline that's terrible all together in 3 episodes in a row. Oh, that was a rough start to the week.
So you liked when they had the whole everybody gets a text message. No, a notification on their phone. Oh. It was like, is this COVID-19? No, it's an article about Franco. I thought that was kind of dumb, but I did it. It was it made for dramatic pause. So I was thinking, who's getting everybody? What's going on?
Well, I'm surprised so many people have notifications on their phone, but I know people who do. So I'm like, that was at least believable in the way that most of these people would sort of want to be plugged in, and it's Peter's paper. Okay, like yeah, we'll go with that. Like, there are some things that they've done this week that I heard a lot of complaints about not being believable. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I know plenty of people who have the notifications on their phone and would be like, huh. I mean, when Kobe died, like, I mean, most of us got a notification from one of the news outlets,
That's
like
true. That's true.
big things. And in their little world, that is a big thing.
Nice pussy, Lacretia.
Yes. I know. She's letting herself be known, huh?
I know. I love it. I love it. I love animals. Oh, you come join us, girl. You come join us. They might say, welcome back to Lucretia. They like I know Lucretia's been gone for a while. She's been busy living life.
Yeah.
On here. So we're glad to have her back. Okay, so yes. So I thought that I remember, what Kobe did, we all got we got notification. That's why we all got notification of that. So that was kind of interesting. But I thought they had it for dramatic effect, but I thought it was kind of dumb. It was like, well,
yeah.
Franco. But it led to some good scenes though later. Well, I will say Thursday and Friday, I was all in. I was like, that's why Alexis, I was all in. But we'll get to that in a second. But I want to talk about one thing before we get to anything else, because it was an epic. It's epic. I think Lacretia understands why I think this is epic. Michael Knight, Kim Delaney.
Yes.
I mean, you understand, because if you don't know long-time soap stuff, some of you guys don't, and some of you guys do, it was completely a real live, like, iconic thing. Jenny and Tad were big in the 80s on AMC as brother and sister, with Darnell Williams as Jesse, and it was a huge thing.
Yeah.
And she died on that jet ski.
Yeah, the jet ski explosion. I was, too young or not even born. I'm trying to remember what year that was, but all I knew, like watching all my children, is like everybody talked about that moment in talking about that show, and they would replay that on like specials and things like that.
It's because you're one of the greatest moments of, sadly, one of the greatest moments of television, daytime TV, sadly. Anyway, that's like you do location shoots and stuff. But she married correctly, and she died on a jet ski. And she hadn't been on daytime since. Think about it. She just not been on daytime since. And that was the 80s, kids. I want to say 84, 85. It was whatever year that was. But it was not since then. So to have them even run into, the whole thing was just wonderful. So what do you guys think?
Certainly having those two iconic actors / characters, kind of meeting together again on GH. There was always a wonder was like, how are they going to make it and not make it seem like just deliberate and cheesy.
Yeah.
This at least had a reason to happen, so it was smooth.
I agree with that, Frank.
Yeah, I liked that it didn't seem out of place. There was, he's a lawyer, she's a reporter. Like, we had a reason. He came to her with an idea, and I liked that it involved Valentine, and not just because Valentine is my Valentine. Yes, I've seen the mugs and may have purchased them. But yeah, it was nice that we have this All My Children connection, because, with the spinoff coming hopefully to primetime here soon, there is this resurgence, and it's bringing back that nostalgia, and it's nice when they nod to things like that.
I agree. I mean, they did it with Valentine and and the whole Chandler thing.
Yes.
So it's very interesting. So I mean, I agree with Frank. I'm always worried. I don't mind a wink. I want to wink at it, but I don't want to be so cheese. On Bold and Beautiful, Don Diamont used to play a character on Young and the Restless, and when the character switched over, when they had a crossover last week, he talks about generosity. He's like, well, I should go there one day. But now he's going back there as his new character. Mm-hmm. So it should be very after like 20 years, right? So it should be very interesting. But the wink was it made sense. It was kind of light. It was like, okay, we all know, but it wasn't super awkward. And we've seen those winks, and it was like,
oh yeah,
that's not good either. But I agree. So this was really good. But I want to mention that first before anything else to talk about, because I thought that was just a great. Thank you, GH. People on chat are asking us, do you think they have new writers or something? Like, it's like they're just taking care of business now.
Well, how do I say this? I don't think it's new writers. I think because it is sort of ever since they came back, it's been refreshed. They're sort of working things out. But I do feel like they understand the complaints, and that this would have been time for them to already have wrapped up some of this stuff. But because of, the break and the shuffling and people being available, they've had to do. And I feel like they're just finally to a point where they're getting in their groove where they can fix these things, because it does seem like the same sort of structure, just they're just trying to wrap stuff up, which I think we can all appreciate. And I felt like there were several things that were sort of thrown in last minute, though. I will say that, like the Alexis incident, it felt out of left field. And there's a few other things that I've seen that I don't think were in the cards initially when they wrote out the outline.
Do you think, Frank, that they're just because of the break we had, because of the pandemic, COVID break, they had time to really think about stuff and maybe write better?
I don't, I'm just, the fact that we had some small movement on some storylines was good. I mean, I feel like you just start seeing, hopefully the window starting to open on the let's get Peter storyline. It's it's starting to raise up a crack with the whole Britt and Peter argument this week. So I was like, all right, let's start seeing something happen. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just as bored as we are with these storylines. So they're like, all right, let's get rid of these guys. Let's see what's next.
That could be it too. I mean, I don't know either. I just feel like that possibly, like the pandemic, some of these stories would have wrapped up anyway by now if they were normal. If there was a normal time, it's just time. And we all agree it's time to shut them down. Like we all. That's the one thing we all agree on in the chat room, guys. We all agree on that.
Yeah.
But so I want to get into actually I call it Peter, Franco, Britt, Jason, Dante, Sam, Elizabeth. I mean, now Alexis is in there. Curtis was there to see everything. I will say, see, now is it me? Or are they not finally defining Peter as a bad person? Are they finally making him bad?
Yeah. I feel like they're finally realizing, because this is what I'll say, is they almost switched the Peter and Valentine roles, where Peter was the one who seemed a little bit like he could go either way. Now we've sort of seen Valentine step up and develop relationships. Peter really is isolated to Maxie. And he really never took off with anybody but Anna either. I mean, and Lulu. And that's nice. One thing I will give this story is at least Maxie and Peter seem to mention Lulu and think about that, and Dante, of course. But it's one of those things that I think they really tried to redeem Peter, but it just never really worked. Like time and time again, it would start and stop. And there's no going back sometimes, especially for people with this particular character. So if we're going to keep him around, let him be the bad guy. And I feel like they're finally leaning into that. And to me, I'm fine with that. Like, let him be the sleazy sort of, bad guy that's running the paper. And that's what they did with Todd. I mean, and obviously Peter's a far cry from Roger Howarth's Todd, but it's one of those things that I see and I'm like, okay, if we're going to have him around, that can be his role. And that's something I think we'd all accept. Most people's problem with Peter is the starting and stopping. Is he good? Is he bad? Like, why are we doing this?
They say a desperate Peter is a dangerous Peter. So, Frank, do you think that actually, because Britt saw a side of him, didn't she? She saw a side to him. And do you think she's now kind of like everybody's right?
I would think so. I mean, I think I can agree with the chat room. Desperate Peter is a dangerous Peter, but I also think you want to also add a stupid Peter, because I feel like every time he's tried to do something to kind of get himself out of a potential jam, it's just ended up eventually just throwing more, light on him. So whether it's like, hey, let's frame, Obrecht, let's frame Sam, let's, I'm going to set up Franco to get killed, and Andre Maddox, oh wait, I'll have to go save them. And that seems like a whole weird story that I have to explain now. Yeah. So now with this, like the whole Todd stuff, the Franco.
Franco. Yeah.
Franco stuff is, I don't know why he, his own paranoia makes him do these dumb moves. And I just don't like this publishing the story. It has brought up too many questions. So it just.
And I liked Britt pointing that out. I like that Britt is the smart one in this, and she was sort of testing him when she left that information just to see. And I like that she was like, I don't trust my mom, so I don't want to turn on my brother if this isn't true, but let me see. And so I like that she has been played as this smart person, because look at who her parents are. I mean, as you said, I'm the daughter of two world-class criminals. Of course I'm going to get around this.
Yeah. I know. I loved when he said, "You're a sister. I love you, but you do not want to get in." I'm like,
oh yeah.
Okay, there's something. You know how much I just hate the character. Everybody knows how much I hate Peter. But at that moment, I was like, "Ooh, I can get into this because now
Yeah,
you're."
I actually like the bad Peter. Like, I'm like that's a character that I'm like, look, I mean, he's gonna be here. So if that's the route they're going, I feel like that works for me.
I too trying to save that little piece of white picket fence family, trying to eliminate all his enemies, all his distraction enemies, and I love when Oprah was like, "So you told him you were hearing voices?" Like she was like,
Yeah.
"Bitch,
I hate that
why'd you do
Franco is.
that?" Like Franco, come on, like what the like? She was like, "What the f?" That's what she was looking like. That's her face was like, "Hello."
I kind of thought that maybe he was doing that to lay the groundwork for Ulbrich when that happened, but no, I'm like, oh no, they're really making Franco a dum dum here. It's like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, and Rose was like, "What?" It's like, "What?" Of course, coming after her. But the Dante thing was really cool because everybody's like, "Why did Dante come in there to protect Franco?"
Yeah. And that was really weird though, how obsessed they were. When Dante was a cop, he's a heroic character. So to me, if we didn't know he was programmed, why would we think anything else? He saw someone being attacked and he jumped in to save them. That's what Dante would do for anyone.
That's true.
Yeah.
You think Frank, you think that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, as soon as when you have Sam, I already lose interest when Sam starts kind of questioning. Shut up,
I
Sam.
love you, Frank.
Shut up.
It was the whole thing was when Alexis started looking at that syringe.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh yeah.
It's
I was like,
times.
this is so weird. Like it's like, and that was one of those things that I mean, I think most everyone was shocked. Like I give them credit because we're just like, what the f just happened? Like,
yeah, I was genuinely not expecting the Dante twist in there. I mean, I thought, oh, she's going to try to kill Franco, and that'll be it. But no, getting Dante getting injected, I was like, oh, all right. And to see if that does anything with the programming, I'd be curious to see.
You're all right. You're like, oh, great. You know, I was shocked too. That was great. He got stabbed. It's great. I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I mean, that was a twist I didn't see coming either. But when they kept showing the syringe, I'm going, why do they keep showing? I'm like, it's going to inject herself. It's going to put alcohol in it. It was just a weird directing choice. That's what it was. It was a weird. It's like, okay, now look at it now.
This drug, yeah,
right, yeah, exactly. But see, now I see what they're doing. They're going, audience, we're going to use this in a second. Audience, we're going to use this in a second. Audience, they're reminding us.
Yeah.
And the syringe will come into play at some point. That's what it was. I realize that now.
But I was with you, James, because I thought that I did think like, oh, is it really upping this alcoholic storyline where she just starts?
Yeah, just shooting up.
That's what I thought, Frank.
I thought so too.
Sure, okay, I'll take it. That's fine, sure.
I was like, oh, she's gonna take one from Dr. Finn. Yeah, I like it with the needle. I mean,
with the needle. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The whole crazy part was everyone keeps dropping on Jason. I'm like, I'm so over that. I never thought I'd be defending him. I'm over that. I'm kind of like, Frank went to him. He just kind of went, okay, whatever you say. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't tried anything. He's not trying to kill Franco. It's like, but Franco went to him, and now Sam got mad at him, and Elizabeth's still mad. I'm like, oh my god.
I will say, I loved Liz being mad at him. I know I wasn't here last week to champion that. I loved Liz like basically boxing Jason with her words and those bitch faces that I love so much. Like so good. Becky Hurst was the queen there. Like everything about that was good. But one thing I love about Jason, and to me, Steve Burton seems in a really good place with the character too. You can just tell, is like he's very much like, I didn't agree to that. Like he just lets everybody else do the talking, and he just kind of goes about it, and he doesn't make it like, oh, I mean, I would kill Franco. Yeah, I don't like him. If he does something, okay, but I'm not saying yes. Like he wouldn't incriminate himself, and I think they know him enough. But that was what was funny to me, because Franco's even trying to protect Jason. He's like, no, I want like it in writing, Dad. Like, so Jake doesn't lose two dads. Like, I like that Franco is seemingly rational, even the joke about the people on social media, but you two are saner than they are. Like that was a funny line from Liz, you know, kind of going with the fandom sometimes. But yeah, I like the way that most everyone's being portrayed in this story, including Jason. And it's kind of refreshing, especially because I like him with Britt and how that's all kind of coming together.
I like Britt too.
I mean, I just feel like it's like Elizabeth's scenes a lot, or just everybody coming and yelling at Liz, just about like, what's going on? Ah, why could you do this with Franco? So it was a nice change of pace to have her actually say that to Nicholas, like, hey, hold on, this person that I love is dying. And there's actually, we could take a moment to realize, like, yes, whatever potential dangers Franco might possess, also Liz truly does love him. And so, can we just take a second just to reflect that, hey, Liz needs a moment to like, hey, I could lose this person I really love. So it was nice to see Nicholas be here for that moment.
Yeah, because to me, that was always a friendship that was true and genuine until like the whole affair and everything sort of after that. It's nice to see them kind of coming back together after everything. And that Nicholas was the one to take the beat and be like, you know what? Yes, I'm sorry. And even Ava was mature enough to be like, yeah, she needs a friend. It's okay. Like, if you see Franco, let me know. Like,
no, I like that we could have Ava and Nicholas we could get rid of that whole jealousy subplot.
Yeah.
About, Liz and Franco, and just have them let them know that they're there for their other friends. So that was cool.
Yeah, that's good. But that storyline, and then Alexis drunk, raccoon-eyed because she's been crying or whatever.
And again, Sam martyring herself, like, I turned my mother in. No, there are other people that saw this, Sam. It's not just you.
Yeah, they could have done that. Like, but Sam, this is, again, any woman Jax has ever been, you can put back to always thinking about themselves, as we'll probably get into later. Jax has a type. And like, that's the thing about Sam, it's like, yeah, like Alexis did need to pay some consequences because she's in this downward spiral, but it didn't necessarily have to be you.
I know.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So yes, so she stabs Dante, and you have it. So there you go. So and then Mac, your buddy, your buddy Dante York. Come on, Frank. He went off. He was not pulling no punches, right?
That was like, it's like, yes, this is the Mac I want to see. I don't want to see like bumbling Mac with this dumb old dummy puppet hanging out.
Oh, I love the Mr. Marbles.
Oh, like, I mean, the only time I ever laughed at that is when he put it next on Frisco's shoulder during the nurse's. The only time I ever laughed about Mr. Marbles. But other than that, it's like too often they play Mac as just like a buffoon, and so it was nice to see him like, yes, this is a Mac that I enjoy. Yeah, he can be a bumbling, but let's have him actually be, sharp as a tack in the scene.
And I did love that he's like, it's your birthday. Like, that was so like random and just really piling on.
He did not let up. I was gonna say he did not let up. He was like, no, girl, he could die. He could just was telling like it is. She's like falling apart. And I loved it. I thought this is what Mac would do, because obviously, yes, there was a recast of Jordan. I think the other Jordan, I think Brianna Nicole Henry had COVID or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like over Thanksgiving. She tested positive, so she had to quarantine.
Yeah, so they have
yeah.
So they had this chick who wasn't bad. She was fine.
Yeah.
She came in, she did fine.
She was just so little compared to Brianna. That was what was funny. My mom was like, is she my height? Like, so yeah, I was like, she's dainty, but like, I think it really worked in some of the scenes though. I mean, they had to turn around quick, so.
Yeah, they did. So it was that. Okay. Oh, okay. So that's that whole thing that's going on. Now, to me, they tried to ruin the character of Tracy Quartermaine, Angelica Quartermaine. I thought they tried to ruin it, and I thought this go round she did not deserve it. JD Elliott should be pissed at them that they did this to her. So she's gone now. She had to run out, so she's get arrested for turning Alexis, falsely turning. This storyline was just dumb. I mean, Monica coming back, it's good to see Leslie Charleston,
Yeah, she looked great, by the way. I don't know what her and Jane were doing over the break. They look good.
They look good, but the storyline was so unnecessary, right, Frank?
Well, the weird thing too was that earlier this week we had stupid Wiley showed up, as we had to see Willow and Michael agonize over these.
Stupid Wiley, gotta love Frank. It's like, that kid's adorable.
Oh, he's terrible. You can just see him just staring at his parents off camera, like, I move? Anyway, so
I love it. I love it.
But Michael leaves. He goes, "Oh, your stuffed animal's ripped. Let me go get Monica to sew it." So he does that, but then all of a sudden she shows up from like, oh, I was at this cardiology event. So like, what's going on with the timeline here, guys? Anyway, it was nice to see.
There was a Sam line that was like that too. Like, I don't want to talk to you about this. I don't want to talk to you about this to Franco. And then it was like, oh, I need to talk to you about this. But again, like I just assumed crazy girl, except like you, Frank, there was that scene too. And that's why I'll say some stuff seemed like it was shifted around. Or, just kind of added last minute. I was like, that was one of those moments too, where it's like, oh yeah, this seems like off, like they were going one way and went another, or like Monica's just coming back.
Now, so for what I was hoping is that when at the beginning of was Friday's episode, when Tracy says, well, it was nice to at least have a one-sided conversation with Luke, but at least to say that she's going to stick around there and try to repair everything. So I was like, all right, maybe we can give a chance for this storyline to redeem Tracy's time here and give Jane Elliott more to do. And then it just turned out to be like, nope, you got to get out of Dodge here, Tracy.
Go now. Go now. I was like, dang.
Well, and again, I mean, Jane Elliott retired. It's nice that she will come back because we all love Tracy. And a lot of this to me was very classic Tracy. And I do know like her and Nancy Lee Grahn are friends. So I think that they may have wanted to work together. But I do think that they could have done this a little better like than they did. But I didn't mind Tracy trying to get rid of Alexis for Ned and Olivia. I actually liked that part of it because that was who she was. And that was why it hurt so much, especially with Olivia, because she's like, Tracy, in her own Tracy Quartermain way, was trying to help me. And I was throwing her under the bus. So I thought it added to the betrayal because I do love that we may get some bad Liv because she is a fun character. I love Lisa. She has been the performer of the week for the past couple of weeks.
Well, she looked good. Go on, Frank. Tell her, Frank, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
One scene I am tired of, and I just please don't waste my time with these dumb scenes, is when somebody is in the emergency room, they're critical, they need to be they're being tended to by doctors, nurses, whatever, that whichever significant other or parental figure comes rushing in, the immediate go to, I gotta go in there. Like, no, you don't. No, don't be dumb. This is stupid. Those scenes drive me crazy. So when Olivia shows up, goes, I gotta go in there to save my Dante. Like, stop it. Stop it.
You're not a doctor or a nurse. Stay out. Yeah, no, they do that all the time. But she does kill her. She's working her scenes. You can tell they're okay, you're up now, Lisa Cicero, you're up. So now they're giving her all this stuff, and Robert now has got some fun stuff. Robert and Matt and Ned, he did the right thing. He called them.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
was what he would do.
Yeah, I like that.
He knew the whole story though, so he doesn't know. She was about to tell him what was going on. He didn't know the whole story, so it's kind of interesting that he was like, "I'm doing the right thing." When he showed it, she was like, "I don't want you here." You're like, "Oh," he was like, "I think you better go now." When they had the little talk, it was like going back and forth, like, "More of this, please. I'll take more of this."
Yeah, I love all these characters. I love that we get, more of the Quartermains, and that includes Olivia. I like the family unit, and I do feel like her and Ned will patch things up because that's just kind of who she is, and Ned too. Like, whether we agree with what Ned did or not, and he stepped in it big time, like, even Olivia knows this is not Ned's normal behavior. This is not who he is as a person. And I think they'll come, and maybe it's when Brooklyn comes back or there's something to it. But I do like that we're getting a play with her with Robert too. And this is one of those that this whole affair, that wasn't really more of a one night stand, has been written well, where you understand everybody's point of view and where they were.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I will be curious. I mean, Olivia's a little bit outside the chapel when she just lays into Alexis. Just says, "Oh, that bitch. She's gonna get what's coming to her." I was like, "All right."
I believe she said that drunken slut, that murderous bitch. I loved it.
She's pissed. She's like, okay, and I love Nancy Lee Grahn has been totally tweeting out as the character on Twitter. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Your son. I'm loving all of that. I'm like, you go on, Nancy Lee Grahn. You work it out.
Yeah, it looks like they're having fun with this, and that's where I'll always say, just like with some of the other storylines going on, they may not be my favorite, or that may not be what I would have chosen. But if everybody's having fun, it does come across, and I can at least get behind that. Like Sunny storyline. I think Mo's having fun. I mean, like with Olivia, we're finally getting some good material with Lisa again since Dante's death. I mean, Dante's shooting, not or near death.
Near death.
Like,
And everybody, I agree with you guys. She is a great crier. Lisa is a great crier. She knows how to cry.
yeah.
She's good. But right?
I don't know. I was just saying for Alexis, I was bummed that the DWI storyline was going to be wrapped up so easily, so that we had teased the prospect of Martin Gray being with her, being her attorney. So at least now she knows that she's got to reach back out to Martin Gray to help her with this defense instead. So at least we can still get that combination, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah, me too.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, like their interaction with her and him and Valentine was just so fun. I mean, the strip club lines, that whole group plays off each other well. And even James Patrick Stewart ships Alexis, Martin and Alexis. So maybe we'll have some fun time, because it looks like we're gonna have him around for a while.
Let's do it, please.
Yeah.
Please, actually, also, I totally agree. And a side note, if you're on TikTok, like I am at James Locke Jr., follow Kate Grahn, Nancy Grahn's daughter. She has a song she wrote about Alexis Davis. It's
funny.
Video. It's funny. I showed my brother, we were laughing. It's really good. And her mom's on there sometimes. Nancy Grahn comes on like these weird little games, and Nancy Grahn's hilarious. So just a little side note on that. So if you're on TikTok, what the kids do. I'm trying. I'm an old man on there trying to keep up. Okay.
One thing I will say while you're looking for that was funny with Olivia was the scene with Michael. That was such a good scene, and I really felt like they leaned into some of Chad's like better strengths with the kids and with her and that side of the family. But it was funny because did you guys notice when he was exiting, he straight up ran into that pew, and we were laughing. I went back a few times, like
like oopsie.
Yeah.
That was all weird because I mean, that text gets sent a lot sooner in that episode than he receives it. So I'm like, why did it take so long for that text to get over to Michael? Because I was expecting by the time we cut back to Carly, Jax, Valentine and Nina, that Michael would be gone already. But nope, he's still there, just chatting away for a while.
There's bad Wi-Fi. I tell you, I have to hump my router over here to send an email. There's this like bad email. I'm like, it's in the same room as me, so I have to get top of straddle it and I get it send an email out sometimes. That's how bad internet is. Come on, Frank. It's what happens. The phone, everything. It's 2021, people. Why don't we have like good internet?
And maybe Michael didn't immediately check his phone then because he was dealing with other stuff. That could have been because like Avery trying to keep her away from all the adult chatting and how like awkward that whole thing was.
Well, I just know my mental Rolodex now forever will be James Lott humping his router.
my router.
Yes.
It's just for you.
Yeah, that's
Frank.
not what an Ethernet port is for.
I got comedians on here. But Frank, whole night, think of me.
Yes.
Humping my router. Okay.
Down.
It was like quite a picture. It is quite a picture, trust me.
I'm gonna have to drink more of Pim's cup to get rid of this.
Please do, girl. Okay, so we'll get to. I'm saving that whole other storyline for last. That's just a big one over there. But I do want to mention also. You mentioned Sonny's bipolar, so they decided to go that route because people kept mentioning in chat the last 2 weeks. But he's bipolar. They're finally addressing it. And you're right. I think they really are. He really is enjoying this storyline.
Yeah, and that's what I like about it. I feel like he's stretching because it's probably fun to play someone else, like, and not have all that Sunny baggage, and he can kind of play with it a little more. And I like the way that they were portraying the mania, and I think Phyllis and Lenny are great. Like Lenny's funny to me. I'm like, oh, good, I like this guy, and I feel like we're getting to a point where this has a purpose why it's Phyllis, and I think it will tie into Nina and hopefully her revenge on Carly. So hopefully things start playing out there. But I at least feel like he's enjoying it. He's stretching as an actor. And it's something different. It's something out of that Sunny, Jason, Carly realm.
I agree with that. Frank, what do you think?
As I was just saying there a second ago, it's like I'm glad somebody's enjoying the storyline.
I know, Frank. There's a lot of haters out there.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying it. I mean, it's fine. It's fine, sure. But, for me, a little goes a long way. It's just like, yes, the idea of like somebody having amnesia, not realizing they have a mental disorder and not taking their medication. Interesting. But man, they just kept on hammering the same kind of beats. Like, oh, gotta keep cleaning. Gotta keep cleaning. I got a lot of ideas. It just went on too many beats. I'm like, okay, all right. I was... whatever. Stop it. Move on. So, where the storyline's going, who knows? But it can't get there fast enough.
They're actually people bring us a good point. Why are they doing a fingerprint kit or a DNA test or put them on social media? Like, why are they doing that? I guess. I mean,
well, at least with these people, they are older, so that wouldn't probably be their first thought. And that's where I'll say that it may be a generational thing. I think this is a small town where they're at, so maybe they're not quite as up to date or thinking about that. But it is weird that it's like they didn't put him down as a missing person or try to and I guess because Sonny was declared missing, they didn't really put anything together. But maybe they'll come into, and I doubt it, but explain why. Yep, this is why we need to update these systems and get more money in these small town sheriff's departments.
okay, so I mean, Michael Peavy said something that was kind of funny. I mean, I like the chemistry between the actress who plays Phyllis Caulfield and Sonny. There's a chemistry there. And when he said to me, "I don't even know you," or something like that, and she goes, "That's the worst of all things you said to me. That hurts the most." And he took a beat, and then he walked over slowly, got the pill, and it was like I kind of like that. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
They have a chemistry. I don't know her name, but there's a chemistry there. But like Michael B said, that's that one time she got all Black Mama on, she got all Claire Huxtable on him. Like, you are not going to be doing this, because when he started running off and just taking off, and she was pissed. He just took off.
There's something about Maurice Bernard when he plays against strong women actors, that it does seem to bring out the best of him. Whether it's Epiphany or it's Curtis's Aunt Stella.
Oh yeah.
I mean that it does draw out some good stuff. So this just seems like just another person right there in that same kind of wheelhouse.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Yeah, he's right. He's good with them. So. Again, he's like a lost golden retriever. Someone says, yes.
Aww.
But the storyline, you're right. I mean, I see what they're trying to do. It's a soap staple. You have a new identity. You go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Start your life. Then you come back. He's gonna come back eventually. We know that, right? And they mentioned back in Port Charles, we have to have a funeral.
Yeah. I mean, didn't Carly come back when it switched from Sarah to Tamara Braun at her own funeral? But I feel like that's a little too soon. So I don't see them doing a redo with Sonny there, because I think that's probably going to happen early in February based on Lexi Ainsworth's tape date. I would only assume that's where they put Christina. But it's one of those things that I feel like the real payoff and why they would make Phyllis the person to be there for Sonny is that this ties back to Nina and all that.
But she's mentioned Nina. She's mentioned that.
And that's the reason why she feels bad about what happened. So, and that's at least giving her a point of view and a motivation as sort of a side character. And that's what I like. At least they are putting these things in a believable way and on her end.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, but it also feels like Sonny and Nina are just separate enough that the connection between the two don't become readily apparent to me. So I will be curious to see how those two things kind of collide.
Yeah, because I almost feel like Phyllis or maybe Nina will reach out to Phyllis to confirm what she hears.
Well, as soon as when they were talking to the Metro Court, I was like, all right, I was surprised Nina didn't say, let's get in the car, drive up to go to the car.
Yeah, in a second too. But I have to mention one thing this week that just to me I call it the unexciting moment of the week.
Unexciting moment.
Unexciting. Michael and Willow divorce.
Oh,
If it could have been any more unexciting, I don't even know what else I could have done. I mean, it was just like, sign the papers. Nobody cares. Just do it.
Yeah, I think it was Matt Hanby or somebody on Twitter that did the Michael Willow sex scene, but it was just two pieces of white bread humping. I mean, I will say, like, I don't necessarily mind them together because they sort of are my phone time when I'm watching, or, I mean, I feel like Chase needs to be over here and Sasha needs to be over here and they can go along. So, like, who else would you pair them with? So I don't hate it. But yeah, I just don't know why we spend so much time with them having the same conversations. And that was just another one. And it's like, okay, you're all divorced, but you're still like gonna live together. I mean, all this. I mean, that's what's so unappealing about Willow is that she just really doesn't seem to have any views of her own. She's too conflicted all the time. And it's like, oh, if you're with Chase in this scene, you're going to think about him. You want to be with him. If you're with Michael, you want to do that. And I'm like, that's just, are you an adult?
And Frank,
Yeah.
well, she's going to nursing school. She's signing up for nursing. So she
I thought they dropped that.
They could somehow teach nursing, combine the team one day, nursing student.
well, it seems like you've got a lot on your plate. I can see why Chase likes you. I
You
like
have
you.
ambition. I mean, I don't mean to crap on anyone's ambitions. I mean, nursing is and teaching can be noble professions. But like when you're like 25 and you're thinking about these things and you already kind of act like a little girl, it does seem like I'm going to be a superhero. Like,
Yeah, and without any, I don't know. I mean,
sorry, it's
characters. I mean, so I feel like Willow's going to go. I mean, nursing school is what, at least a few years. So
Maybe 4 months. Yeah, on soaps. Yeah, she'll be in no time.
About a week and a half, and then she's already going to be in rotation. So okay.
I mean, that's what I say. She'll be a nurse for no time. I mean, yeah.
Great. I rather would have they just said to me, you know what, during this whole time that we were trying to figure out the Wiley thing, I've been going to nursing school. That would have been fine. I would have believed it because I haven't seen her doing it. They wouldn't have showed it anyway. And you could have just been, oh, now I'm ready to be a nurse. And she could just get into the rotation. That just is, this.
I thought of you though, Frank. I was like, she finally went back to that nurse thing. She went back to it.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Great.
So the big storyline this week, the other big storyline this week, began the week with some hijinks at Whitmere and some sex over here. This over here. So where should we begin, kids? Which side should we talk about? Let's see. I don't care about those two over there. Let's go to this storyline over here. We saw Bobby. They tried out Bobby. They tried her out. And
again, Jackie Z looking good. Like
they tried her out. They tried her out. And,
it was fun for her to, be involved in that storyline. That made sense. You get a little update on the whole, Cyrus's mom storyline. But it was just like that stupid thing at Windermere. It was just how long. The mission is we got to swap the necklaces. Let me find the necklace, which I like how Bobby couldn't find it at all. Like she never went into the room
and didn't look in the playhouse. Like, yeah,
it was just right there. And then when Carly gets it, just the agonizing, just like I just got to look at it for a long time.
And maybe Bobby's like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. I'm just gonna look in here to appease her and just be like, I didn't find it. To be fair, that's probably what my mom would have done. Like, I'm just gonna pretend to look for it, but really, I'm just screwing around, looking in Nicholas's underwear drawer. Or I mean, I'm just imagining.
I wish they would acknowledge Bobby's Cassadine past. Like she was married to Stefan.
Yeah, and they brought it up, but like barely.
Yeah, barely. So I just wish I wish you just would talk more about that. And I kind of heard Ava acting opposite each other. You never see Jackie Zeman and Maura West acting opposite. Yeah. I'm like, okay, they gave her some work to do. Okay.
Yeah, I liked that scene. I liked them together because she was like, look, I know my daughter's a pain. And like this was her trying to distract her, but she also probably meant a lot of it. Yeah.
My daughter is a pain.
And the way that Ava's been acting, it is nice to see her be the mature one for once. And because she's in this good place, and she even mentioned it, like if Franco can do it, why can't I? Why can't I be a better person and try this? And we're actually seeing her try. And like she said, Avery loves you guys. I'm not going to do that to her. She's putting her kid first. And oh boy, Nicholas standing up to Carly. Boy, those Cassadine Mins and how they threw Carly under the bus this week. It was so hot. It's like,
Nick,
they had no time for her ass. Oh,
Nick was like, I mean, I thought it was so funny. Nick caught her. He was like, I'm telling her right now. Like, he didn't even waste no time. He didn't talk for 5 hours. He went straight to the living room and was like, this bitch was in the room looking around, with and Valentine too. Later on, they were like, no, Carly. I think Carly was snitching and everything. They're like, I think Carly said this last night. They had no. Men were like, no, bitch, you're not getting away with this. Nope. And Carly was so exasperated. She was like, oh my God. Like, let me have this, people. Let me have it.
She's not used to all that pushback. So it was nice. It's like, yeah, Ava's not pushing back, but her husband and, Valentine were all about it. It's like, no, this is you. Because, Carly did take Spencer and with Jax. Like she did keep his son from him. And I like that he hasn't forgotten that. And he's just, and two, being Liz's friend and being on that other side, he's never been friends with her.
Not at all. But she gets to his face. Well, you said your son was dead. Yes, he did that too, but girl,
Yeah. I love how Carly's the queen of whataboutism.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Same time.
Like whatever. But on the other side of things, Jax and Nina, of course, finally, I guess, really make love. Is it for the first time? I can't remember where they make love in a while.
Oh yeah, this isn't new, sadly.
Okay, so they're setting it up, right? They're setting it up because the big reveal, they had to have sex, of course, to be close, of course, and then it all come crashing around them as we're about to see it happen. Meanwhile, Sasha. Now, here's a weird thing for me. Even if you're going to do an interview or go camera ready, don't you look at everything you put on? Even if you put on a necklace on you, when you kind of look at it and go, oh, that's nice. I think
because it was so rushed, after, and it was literally just before she went on. I at least understood. Yeah, she wasn't thinking about that. She wasn't thinking about Nina. She may have glanced at the necklace, but it's like her world doesn't revolve around her. And that whole reveal was just like, oh man, Jax, you have a type. I mean, Brenda, Carly, Nina, they all think the world revolves around them. And it was just so weird, but it was like, oh, finally, at least we're getting this out. But yeah, to think that Sasha would do that on purpose, that's just crazy. I mean, and hopefully that's where we're going with Nina. Crazy. But
yeah, because I thought the setup was actually really interesting. She sees it on TV. Sasha's on GMA3, little cross promotion.
Yeah.
And Jackie's doing the interview. Carly and them are in the corner, and over in the corner, Jackson. It was kind of cool how it all kind of came together. It was a classic multi-person scene. And so many things were kind of converging at once. And then you had Avery still there with Michael.
Yeah.
So that was the necklace. It was kind of cool that the kid told all of it, I got it from Avery. It was at the cabin. Wait, the cabin. And everybody was just kind of piecing it. And he said Valentine was on top of it. He's just like, no, I heard talking about that over there about trying to hide the necklace. She was nobody likes a tattletale, but he was tattletaling. Yes.
Nobody likes a tattletale unless they look like that. And I'm like, okay, sure. And two, as much as I enjoy the character of Carly, especially with Laura in the role, it is one of those I love to watch her get it. And I feel like we're finally getting consequences for everybody who people were kind of hoping to see. And this is fun. It was so hilarious that it was really Michael and Avery and even Jocelyn for giving Ava the necklace back. Her kids throwing her under the bus and unwittingly. Valentine was all in for it. He was like, yeah, Carly knows something about that. And two, that was what I loved is Laura's faces the whole time. She was just like, oh shit.
Yes.
I mean, it was done so well. And I love that Lucy got to be there and was just like, no, Lucy and Valentine had no time for Carly.
I wrote down when Jax finally gave in, Carly's face was like, excuse my language, fuck you, Jax. That was her face. Because she tried to lie. And Carly's good. Last minute, she was like, yeah, last night we just found and he's like, bitch, stop. He's like, can't do it anymore. I got to tell the truth. And Carly was like, you MFer. I sat holding this, you about to just give it all out. I mean, her face was so.
It was so good.
It was good. It was good. But I felt like I thought about Frank also thinking like, finally it comes out. Like, finally, just get this shit out. Just get it out there. Just let it be there, right?
Yeah. Well, it was confused me. It was like Avery. They made a big point about Avery wanting to give this to Sasha. Offer her good luck charm. She needs this, and then to get onto Sasha's neck without having like any concept of how it got there. It was like, what?
Yeah, that was the only weird thing. They should have shown Avery giving it to her, because that would have been like, oh, so sweet. But I guess they didn't want Sasha to realize what it was and then sort of back out, since they sort of were like, she was like, oh, yeah, that's right. That is that. I didn't look at it, but.
So I'm glad they started to dump on Sasha. And I go, is Cardi going to let Sasha take the fall? That's what I thought at first.
Oh, yeah.
But then she was like, no. And that's when Valentine was like, oh, no. Don't saw you. I saw me. Yeah. So I thought I loved that Sasha was able, like, she's like, I got to go now. Bye. And she was like, she got out.
Yeah. I like that she was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. Like, no.
I don't know what it is about both Carly and Nina that think they could just expect a live television hit just to stop.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I'm just going to walk into this live television hit. Also, the fact that nobody, like, come on, as a producer, you wouldn't put a live hit right next to an elevator. And if you were going to, then you would make sure the elevator wasn't stopping at this floor for 10 minutes.
It's not that hard to do that. Like, but I get it. It was for the dramatic effect, but I like that even Valentine, because he's there because it's his company and all that, is like, no, not now. Like, because Carly and Nina both did not care. It's a live interview. They did not care that it's their company and all this. They were just like, fuck you guys. It is all about me. And it's hard when it's two of you that are that bad.
And Carly was it's a wardrobe malfunction. Oh, she looks great. That looks good.
Lucy's like, nope.
No.
Carly tried. She tried. But it was that's not going to work. Wardrobe malfunction.
The dramatic heartbeat of the necklace. Bum, 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 bum. I'm like, all right, no, great.
I kind of liked it. That part I kind of liked. I was like, it was so cheesy. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I will say the heartbeat thing I enjoyed too. I was like, because it was cheesy and it's just like, oh, thank God, we are finally putting this together.
That's what I thought. I'm like, our hearts are coming together. Thank you, Jesus. I was so Jesus. I was like, the story's finally got movement. It's finally got movement, Frank.
Honestly thought it was going to be the switched piece and it wasn't going to fit. Because they're going to drag the storyline out even further. So I am very happy that it turned out to be the real deal.
Me too, because like the looks on Carly's faces, it was too much. Like it was fun. I enjoyed it. And to the people who think, why would this be on GMA3? You've never watched GMA3. They interview people like in real life that are less than the deception, face of that maybe talked about. Like, that's at least supposed to be a big company. This is a story. I see them interviewing people like of all things and stuff kind of like this, where it is like a one-on-one somewhere else and they put it in the show. So I at least give them kudos for picking the one that's right before that is sort of more regular people. I mean, they're not getting Brad Pitt or Jennifer Aniston. So I at least liked that it was somewhat believable.
So comparatively, I mean, certainly Nina has always put Jax on a pedestal and is the anti-Valentine. He hasn't lied to me, but now we're gonna find out. Yeah, of course, Jax has lied to her. But how does Jax's lie stack up to what Valentine did to Nina? I don't think it is as bad and as repeated as Valentine.
Yeah, well, how do I say this? It's hard to feel bad for Nina when these men lie to her. And I'm not saying that they're right just because I may really like one of them. But it's one of those things that they lie to you because you're fragile. Jax doesn't do that to Carly. And this is where I really hope that Nina understands that, Valentine did a lot for her and he really did love her, but their relationship is toxic too. Because again, he saw her as this fragile bird, just as Franco. I mean, Heather Weber even pointed that out. But, when Elizabeth is the one that Franco can be real with and all that, and Nina should look at this as herself, because again, these guys lying to her is not good, but this is a pattern, honey. And you really need to take stock of it, especially now that you've realized you had this daughter and maybe Nell is alive or maybe not. It's kind of irrelevant. It's like her life has been so wrapped up in being a victim and everybody sees her that way. I do hope we go another direction with her. And yes, I don't think that what Jax did was necessarily as prevalent as Valentine, but this was like lying about knowing this was her kid base. I mean, for sure. And that's where it's like, as far as the Sasha and Nell thing goes, those are pretty equal. Just that wasn't the first time Valentine lied.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
No, I can't argue with it at
No.
all. And I mean, again, Jax for buckling under Carly's bizarre rationalization of why Nina could not know the truth was like, well, I don't even understand that. No matter what you say to me, I can't find like why that was even an acceptable action.
Yeah, and even when he was getting Carly to lie about what happened with Nell, too. I mean, the whole thing has been played like pretty. I will say I like that Jax has been more Jax-like, and I like that he's just going to go ahead and come clean instead of continuing. But it was like he wasn't portrayed very well in the beginning, and I think that once he realized he was similar to Valentine, I hope we have that beat because it's like both you and Valentine lied to protect Nina in your minds, and so your intentions in that sense were good, but you should really look if you don't respect someone enough to tell them the truth, or you want to do something for them, like in Valentine's case, he wanted to give her a daughter. With Jax, he wanted to give her hope that Nell wasn't her daughter, I guess, because that's not really a fate most people want to realize. But it was so odd how they played it, and that Valentine isn't the ultimate villain in here, and Nina really needs some new direction. So I hope that if we are keeping her around, this is a way of doing it because she needs to sort of shed a lot of this.
People are saying, chat room, but no, Lacretia, he did lie. Jax did lie to his women many times over the years.
Oh yeah, probably for the same. I mean, I'm like, hey, like, I'm not the biggest Jax fan.
Yeah, no, we don't care.
So yeah, I was like, I don't even remember, but yeah, he probably did. But yeah. I will say, I was like, oh, I mean, yep, you know what? You're probably right. I don't remember.
That's all right. So we don't, okay, Jax. Yeah. But I think the character of Jax to me, I mean, Frank and I've said this the last couple weeks, where I'm just like, he's not needed right now, or either write him better or write him out. I think at this point, to me, he's just him and Nina have no chemistry to me. I don't see any chemistry whatsoever.
Yeah, I love Cynthia Watros, and she had chemistry with James Patrick Stewart. It was a little different than Michelle, but I just never felt it with Jax, and I really don't want to see her and Jax continue, or her and Valentine get back together. So that's why I kind of hope that maybe she will be connected in this Sunny storyline, and maybe they hook up. Maybe she goes full on cuckoo and she hooks up with Sunny. That's something I'm interested in seeing. Like,
oh, she took my daughter. I'll take her, man.
Actually, good. Hey,
I hope she says that exactly.
She took a baby, so she got out of Ava and took her baby. So I'm like, I took a man. Why not? Why not? Shit, I'm like, I'm down for that. Mm-hmm. Jax was never needed. Jax was good 20 years ago. That triangle. I know. I know.
And Amaya Baker said that Jax did lie to Carly about Jerry when they were married, and he lied about him being responsible for Michael getting shot. So I'm like, yeah. So he has lied to Carly, and at least it's good to know those two beats. But again,
so do we think Nell is alive? I mean, I hate even asking this question, but everybody's talking about it. Or is it that Nell really isn't the daughter? It's Willow. You can say it's Willow now.
I hope not. Like, why change it again? And to me, like, so Nell is dead, or you know what? Hopefully, we see Nell again. But it's one of those that I don't see the point in making it Willow. They're not even really sharing scenes anymore. There would be no push and pull with Wiley. Like, where does that story go now that they've mended fences, and now that Willow is Wiley's adoptive mother? Like, it makes more sense to keep it Nell for drama's sake, but they haven't always gone the drama route this time.
No, the thing is, if it's Nell, then that's her grandson. And it's just start feeling like, well, I didn't have her saying anything because you kept my daughter. So I mean, I can see some drama out of that. I mean,
yeah, but it seemed like there was zero mystery, I guess, about Nell. I mean, we never saw the body, although they did say they retrieved the body. They went to them, identified it, and all that stuff. So, I'm curious. Of course, you don't show the body, even if it's been identified, just so
Right.
you have options to write your way out of it. But it seemed like, okay, there was little ambiguity that they made it seem without ever showing a body that Nell was just done for. So I'm curious why, why even do that? Why not just have her be missing?
Nell comes back as Nancy and steals Wiley against that's what I said, Nancy. People want Willow to be Erica Kane's granddaughter.
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Like, no, like,
I've been seeing that in
why?
chat all day. I don't understand what that's about, but I see it in the chat room, so I'm just saying out loud. I don't know.
Why are we so like? Yeah, it's like, why are we forcing Willow to be somebody's kid? Like, I'm just not interested in that. We've met her mother. I like the actress. I like the character.
Harmony.
People don't have to all be related. Like, it would be way more interesting if Sasha was related to somebody we care about. Sorry, guys. In the Willow Sasha, debate, I still pick Sasha. I think Caitlyn is a great actress, but the Willow characters just never really set well with me. And they finally quit putting her on so much, which was nice, but it's still just like, I don't really care. But again, I know she has her fans.
She does. I'm a Sasha fan. I'm a Sasha fan.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. Just again, we gotta give them good storylines so we keep them around, not just these weird things they throw them in there. I mean, at least like I said, Sasha told her story. Okay, that's great. I guess that's part of her redemption. I guess I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, as much as I enjoy Sasha, I mean, it also feels like she's just been used to move other people's storylines. So it's like she does this interview, but it's not really necessarily for her. It's more so we can get this set piece set up so that Nina can go crazy and Carly can melt down and everything's revealed about Nina's daughter. So it's like, all right, but Sasha's just gonna go. Maybe we'll see her with Brando soon. Let's hope.
Yeah, that's me. I was like, I would rather see. I mean, it's great that Sasha is one of those characters that can be on the sidelines or be in center of something and really drive a story, and that's always a good person to have around. But let's see her drive her own story. Let's get more into like her background, because how do I say this? We've had a lot of that with Willow. We haven't had that with Sasha, so let's give her a chance.
Yeah. Oh, the other storyline. Please stop. And I don't care. Is when Finn and Jackie, like, you mean you never tested? You never tested to find out if Chase is, my son? Or I'm like, oh, I need to know. And I'm just like, no, you don't need to know. We don't need to know. Just like move on, Finn.
No, Frank, he wants to know. That's his child. What do you want to know for your child? What do you want to know? That's your brother, your son. Great.
Yes.
I know.
It's kind of weird, because had they set this up earlier, then maybe it would have been more interesting for people. And I really like all of the actors involved. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I really don't care if he's his son or he's his brother. I like their relationship as it is.
I know.
And I like their hot dad too.
No, and I agree with you. If this had been a storyline that had really perked up as soon as Chase came on canvas, then that would be interesting. But it's been so many years. And it's like, why? Why are we doing this now?
Yeah, I don't know. Because to me, it's like there's so much between Anna and Finn that could break them up, and they've drug out this wedding. But one thing I will say, the one saving grace to them dragging this out maybe is it because Hayden's coming back, and that may be why they're kind of shuffling some of this, bringing this up, but maybe they decided to go another direction, because I'm feeling that a lot with things these days, that they were like headed one way and then they just did a 180.
Yeah, someone mentioned earlier, which I agree, some of the cuts were weird, actual technical stuff. The cuts were really, really weird and just like, and jarring. And I saw our buddy Fido Xavier did a couple of episodes, directed a couple of episodes, and those are always good. But they have some new directors, and I know they have some female directors I noticed in there too that are doing it. So I mean, maybe I think they, the angles. We talked this before, the angles, the handheld parts. But I think they're trying to Grey's Anatomy it or something, or ER it or something. They're trying to do something. I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess I can't fault them for trying, right? I guess.
Showing those shots of needles. Got to show those needle shots.
Okay, it's like, okay, again, this once again. Hi, audience. We're going to use these needles in a second. Hi, audience. We're going to use these nickels. Hi, audience. It literally was like, I get it. Yeah. In about a few moments, something's going to happen.
Just missed like a red arrow just pointing to it. Ding, ding.
It's like, use this.
Oh
This will be important.
Be important. Well, you guys, that is our hour of GH, folks. And I want to thank you guys personally that this is our number one show of my network. It gets the most views, the most downloads on any other show that I do every week. So I guess you like us. You really like us. I don't know what's going on there. And we're here for you to be shady as always on Sunday nights in the afternoons. And we're always glad to. I love doing the show with them. Whatever combination, all three of one or the other, whatever. I like the combination. I like doing this with them. So, you know, it's been great. So thank you so much for all the likes and stuff. And please subscribe to the channel while you're here. 35 folks in the chat room. Hello, you guys. We love that are watching. Thank you. Frank Moran.
We'll be here next week.
Sorry.
Right?
Nope.
Absolutely.
No next week. No next week, folks. I'm gonna tell you guys. It's Super Bowl. So listen to Frank. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I am cutting the soap block at 2:00. So we're gonna do Bold and Beautiful and YNR and Forever and a Day, and that's it. No GH. I'm only doing 3 shows a day. That's it. I'm going to start drinking and eating and barbecuing at 3. Watching Super Bowl. So that's what I'm going to be doing. That's what I do every year. I've had a long year in quarantine. I'm going to do something. So sorry, you guys, but next week we'll not be back. We'll be back the following week. And we'll talk about both weeks, or we'll talk about everything that's going on. And I heard it's gonna be a nice full week, hopefully, of soaps this week episodes. We'll find out.
We'll talk about it next week.
Frank Moran, I'm gonna kill you. So no, we're not here. Frank will be here next week talking about the soaps. I'll be eating and drinking. And yes, Carla Renata just went live for her Curry Critic. So yes, go over there and say hi to Carla for us. Left us, but she's always welcome back. Like I always say, she's always welcome back when she wants to come back, of course. Everything. And tomorrow, Forever and a Day begins season 2. Lacretia's on the series. Season 2, Forever and a Day. Our audio soap opera is tomorrow. Back tomorrow. Frank Moran will be on one of my shows. Also, I already picked the show. I'm gonna be getting out the notices to that. So stay tuned for that. Also, he's gonna play a character. But Forever and a Day tomorrow, where all podcasts are out there. So just go to any platform. Forever and a Day. Right there. And I started the Dallas after show. So if you like Dallas, I'm talking about it. The first episode I talked about was the dream season. I talked about how it changed that show and Knots Landing. So go ahead and check that out. It's out wherever there are new episodes on Fridays. So next Friday, I'm talking about Bobby, Pam, and Jenna. So I'm talking about that storyline. But Dallas, doing that. I might do a Dynasty one. So we'll see what's going on. But Dallas will be out on Friday. Everyone, please, Frank Moran, where can they find your shiny, beautiful ass?
Oh my gosh. Well, find me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie.
And Lacretia Lyon, do your thing.
Since I'm Lacretia Lyon, guys, you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one.
You also have your Believe in soap operas too, right?
Yes, yeah, I do a soap opera podcast as well, and we will be doing a video component just like this. We'll be Mondays live at 6 p.m. Eastern. So enjoy that. We'll talk about a little bit more of all the soaps, and I delve into the psychology of fandom and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Wow, I'll catch up to this. Okay, and of course, you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. I want to say rest in peace to Cicely Tyson, somebody who was, just amazing actress that was on a soap back in the day. She was on Another World back in the 60s and was the first Black actress to have a contract on a soap. But she did much more than that, of course, and just want to give a shout out to her and her family and all her fans around the world who love her. She's 96 years old. So she lived some life, kids. She lived plenty of life. But thank you everybody for watching us, and we'll see you in listen to Frank. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
What?
In 2 weeks, the 14th. We'll see you on Valentine's. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. I want a Valentine's.
Maybe I'll have my mug.
I know from John Oswald. Okay, I'm James here. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.